Hashtag Verse TV. Hashtag VERSTEAV. So this is a story of my recent, i.e., yesterday, experience with a. See, I need to push this down just a little. Okay. Gorgeous, thick, coffee brown chocolate, just uh everything. Like light coffee though, you know? And in the barber shop yesterday, so after I got my haircut, see, I have a haircut and I'm doing a social media video, which is rare for me because I often prefer to get in front of the camera at my wooliest as far as my personal channels. Anyway, I'm spitting so much. But this time I had a little time to spare between my barber appointment and my next appointment. So after he finished with my hair, I sat in the other chairs and just started like working on stuff for the time being, because one thing that I've realized, especially in this day and age of smartphones, there is always, 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 and that was a verb, sorry, stuff that can be done. And it can always be done right on your cell phone. And that's what I was doing. So while I was doing that, this gorgeous, gorgeous, thick coffee chocolate dude, of all the seats in the barbershop, and they were starting to fill up a little bit, but I think he could have sat some other places at that particular time. But of all the seats in the barbershop, he came and sat down right next to me. Okay? And this is what's interesting. He did that thing that the other guy did years ago that I talked about on my YouTube, on my personal YouTube page, and also on hashtag Verse TV. On my personal YouTube page, it was the video talking about Thugzilla or something. Not Thugzilla, because Thugzilla is actually quite attractive and still quite attractive former porn star, but that's another story. But Gangstalicious, that's what I called it. But that's an what this dude did. He came and sat down right next to me. And I was, as I said, in my phone, sort of putting the rest of the world out of my world, out of my world. And see, I wish this could be better. Anyway, but he came up and sat down right next to me. And I didn't make too much of it. I didn't look up that much and see at that moment that there were other seats that he could have taken. But he took the one right next to me. And I was like, I'm 4 minutes into this. Okay. But he sat down and he said something to me about, I know who's going to get all the pussy tonight. And hearing that, honestly, it's definitely not eternal. Don't do that to me. But it reminded me of the other dude who was like, you must have all the girlfriends. But I didn't think of that at that time because I was like, oh, he must be telling me he's preparing himself to get pussy for the night, which doesn't interest me at all. But I realized he was probably testing the waters with me, talking about me getting all the pussy and like testing the waters to see like, oh, if my response is, that's not what I want. But I was just like, oh, okay, cool. because I was in my own world. And this sort of speaks to not always being in your own world when it comes to life in general. And he said that, and I was like, oh, okay. And I went right back to the phone, doing stuff on the phone. And because I really didn't want to have a pussy conversation, that didn't turn me on in the least. But in my mind, I said, oh, he's heterosexual. So, okay, cool. Pussy. And he later on, because I was just doing my thing on the phone because I had already written him off as heterosexual dude. And I was just doing my thing on the phone. And later on, he said, it's almost like in retrospect, and in retrospect, as I'm speaking of it, he was trying different ways to engage me in conversation, but I didn't bite really until he said this. And because he didn't really, anyway, he said, did anyone ever tell you that you look like Stephon Marbury? And I'm like, no one's ever told me that, but thank you. You know, and I kind of realized like that was a compliment. And what I did say is, oh, because he followed that, he said, did anyone ever tell you you look like Stephon Marbury? Do you know who that is? And I realized at that time, I'm like, he's asking me that question because he knows I'm a same gender loving man, and statistically, probably not that into sports. And he was right about that. And I guess I showed him because I said, I actually do know Stephon Marbury because of the fact, like, I didn't watch him on sports because sports, I didn't do all that. But I'm not familiar with him on sports, but I did buy clothing from his clothing line that he had at, I don't remember the name of that store. It was at East Point Mall, for those who know anything about Baltimore. But whatever that big and discounted clothing store is out there. And his clothing line was clothing that's reasonably priced, like fashionable clothing that's reasonably priced. So, like, that was all up my alley. And that's how I knew him. And I started to talk to him about that. And he didn't really seem to bite too much on that. He was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he got in the barber chair. And when he got in the barber chair, we kind of still exchanged eye contact a little bit. Yeah. And maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But I will tell you this, how I felt about this. Like I said, he got into the barber chair because it was his turn. And I had called an Uber to pick me up. So my Uber came. And as I left, I got my walker and pushed my, I pushed. I paid it and pumped. No, I'm kidding. But I got my walker and pushed out. And I said bye to everybody. I don't always do that at the barbershop because I tend to be uncomfortable a little bit around all the hetero men because I'm like, I don't want to come across as like too much. But in his case, because we had developed a rapport, if you will, I said, you know what, I can come across as a little too much. And I said bye to everybody. And I said bye to him. And he sort of gave me an interesting look. And initially, I had interpreted it as his way of just realizing that, oh, you're the dude using the walker. I don't know if I want to mess with that. But the other part of me just realized just now that maybe it was him saying, "You're gonna leave? You're gonna leave me? And I'm not ready yet?" And I was like, "Baby, I'll never leave you. Just give me a moment to leave." No, but he was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, he was. Because you know I like him thick, and I love them thick chocolate brothers. He wasn't thick dark chocolate. Like I said, he was like light coffee colored, but he was thick and fine, and he gave me the time of day. And and this is what this video is also about. I used to really be upset with my walker and the fact that I currently use a walker. And I realized that if it wasn't for this walker, this light and foldable walker, that I would be stuck in the house, doing not able to go anywhere. Just stuck in the house, and it actually scares me to think about. But stuck, not able to go anywhere, not able to do anything. And the walker affords me the opportunity to go out and catch the Uber to the barbershop and other places, you know? And again, that's where I am at this particular moment. And I'm even getting, for the past, I've had 2 Uber trips that my walker, the person sat the walker in the, behind the front seat next to me in the back, because, you know, you still have to, well, whatever. But I asked him, I was like, can I try practice taking out the walker on my own? And I said, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I would like to give it a try. And he was willing and said, yeah, certainly. So I said, thank you very much. Would you like your dick sucked? And no, because he was attractive, and I am thirsty enough that I would have. He's an older gentleman. And, you know, for me being 38, soon to be 39, older, it's like, well, you know, I mean, he's almost retirement age, but not quite. Anyway, that should be my age range, between my age and retirement. And if you haven't retired yet, even though I did interact with a dude who has retired from his work, I didn't suck him off though. I should. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about so much, but it's because I'm already over 13 minutes. But he was the one who had the big 13-inch penis that on his profile he said it was just like 8 or 9. Actually, on his profile, I think he said it was like 8 or 9 or 10 inches or whatever. But you know, whatever. You know, and it's like, never will you think of meeting a dude who actually has to lie about it being smaller than it actually is to get people. Anyway, but so yeah, it's like 8 or 9 or something. I guess I've never really measured it. Anyway, but yeah, him. And back to the retirement thing, you know, as far as my Uber driver, but then going back even farther to the fact that I got my own walker out. Hallelujah. I'm getting better, y'all. It's a process. It's a process that takes work. It's not like there's a magic pill out there. I don't think. Maybe it is. And everybody's body is different. So maybe a certain pill out there will be magic for you. You know? Who knows? But you have to put in the effort. And I just thought about this dude who I moved all the way to Cleveland for him. No, I didn't move to Cleveland for him. But he lives in the Cleveland metro area, and I thought that we would connect after I moved here because anyway, oh my gosh, this is another story, but I have time. This is live. So this dude, he was a little bit more chocolate than the coffee dude at the barbershop, but he was like light brown, and he was he was kind of thick, but not like a big thick dude, just like kind of short and stocky, he was that. And when I actually got to Cleveland and let him know that, oh, while I was only using a cane before, now that I'm in Cleveland at this point, I actually currently use a walker. That made him uncomfortable or whatever. And he like friend zoned me real fast. And I was like, really? But I thought we were going to be together forever and ever. Anyway, let me stop. But I get it because he also has firsthand experience with people with the multiple sclerosis diagnosis, firsthand family experience. And it might have been a bit much for him, for me to be like, hey, I used to be in a cane only, but now I use a whole walker. And I think that might have contributed to my upsetness with my walker. But I, like I said, I'm repeating myself. I don't need to feel that way. And things are improving. But yeah, I got my haircut yesterday, and the dude, gorgeous thick coffee colored dude, light coffee with milk and cream, I guess, milk and cream. It's the same. It's the same, but it's different, But him, he gave me that whole, I know who's gonna get all the pussy tonight, because he was talking about me and my haircut. And it's like, ew. Thank you. No, actually, no, thank you. Anyway, but yeah, he was fish, right? No, he wasn't fish. But no, that wasn't attractive to me. That's why I didn't initially pay much attention to the conversation with him. Anyway, we've got some great topics for #VerseTV this week. See you all there tomorrow. Peace, tea, stay blessed, and love yourself and all of that. Yeah. I get that from Lonnie B from Instagram, or I follow him on Instagram, but he's everywhere. Anyway.